Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Cruise Conversations. And today we have a very special episode, which is our Meet the Innovators. So this series talks about some of the key innovations taking place in the cruise industry, where we're speaking to some of the most innovative suppliers, companies providing services to the cruise line industry. And today we are joined by Sean Farry with OiLChef. Hello, Sean.
Good morning, great to be here.
Where are you from? Whereabouts are you at the moment?
I'm actually in Montreal, and as I sit here speaking to you, there's snow removal operations going on, and it's pretty damn cold outside. So it's a good time for anybody to get on a cruise.
Well, absolutely. Well, it's a pleasure to have you. First of all, I just want to talk about what it is you guys are providing to the cruise industry. So tell us a little bit about what OiLChef is.
OiLChef basically is a innovative, award-winning catalytic converter for a deep fryer, in a nutshell.
Okay.
This little device here, inside this device, this OiLChef, the technology inside, the stainless steel is just a housing to hold our technology, but the technology inside is an inorganic technology that actually pretty much doubles the life of frying oil and helps improve the flavor profile and quality of fried food. Very important to have this, and this is going to revolutionize the industry. So for the cruise industry, every fryer needs to have one of these inside.
Fantastic, I love that. So tell me then. So this is a product that you guys, OiLChef, have designed and invented, and you can sell it to, I imagine, hotel operations, executive chefs, anyone involved with a galley, I suppose, in the cruise industry.
Indeed, we've got a whole team behind us, but traditionally we've been selling this to the restaurant and hotel industry.
Okay.
But when it came to the cruise ships, the standard of hygiene and safety is on another level. So it took us a couple of years to get the approval from the USPH, the Vessel Sanitation Program, and we already had the FDA. So having those, which we actually achieved just 2 years ago, it gave us the green light to actually now go ahead and start approaching the cruise liners. So we're very excited about that, and particularly in a cruise ship. Well, it's a floating hotel, and I mean, once you're actually on one of those ships, space is a premium. And in the galleys, people are eating and cooking 24 hours a day. So for us, it's very exciting because it gives us a great opportunity to really help those operators to maximize their efficiencies, improve their food quality, reduce food waste, and above all, reduce their cost of food.
Absolutely, and that is the first thing that I want to talk to you about, because food wastage and reducing our consumption is at the forefront of everyone's mind at the moment, and the cruise industry is no different. Tell us, how, in a nutshell, how does this reduce food wastage?
Great question. Well, as I said, inside our OiLChef here, these little ceramic pellets, they're actually got a secret formulation of rare and precious metals, and silver is the one I will tell you, which is actually pretty good for us. What they do is they reduce the amount of oxygen that's absorbed by the surface of fried food when it's being cooked. So when you take food out of an actual fryer, typically French fries, we'll use French fries as an example, a French fry might keep its crispy texture for somewhere between 2 and 4 minutes. When the food is being cooked in a fryer that's had our device inside, that increase in texture and shelf life can be up to another 20-30 minutes. It depends on the food product. And what we're finding is that in a buffet style or in most restaurant environments, that fried food typically has a shelf life. It's put under a hot lamp, might be there for 20 minutes. They have their own internal procedure, what they say is going to be their shelf life, and that we can actually increase that tremendously. So instead of people having to throw food out because your French fries or your onion rings or your battered fish has gone soft and not good or pleasing for the consumer, with our device in a fryer where it's being cooked, that food stays crispier and healthier for longer. So that saves a lot of waste.
So actually that tackles two issues here, because you've got, if you're thinking of a la carte restaurants where you're ordering food that will be cooked in that method, you're getting that food, and in terms of the experience the consumer's going to have, it's going to taste better. But also on the other hand, if you've got a buffet style restaurant, it's actually going to last longer as well. So you win both ways, right?
It's a double win-win, and more importantly, saving the food waste is one thing. I mean, cooking oil, edible oil itself is actually food. It is actually a food item, believe it or not. We put it in salads. It's part of mayonnaise. It's part of many things. And typically 90% of our clients basically double the life of their oil. So they're reducing their purchasing or their cost by around 50%, and therefore they're saving their waste by 50%, just the actual oil itself. The food is an absolute bonus. And you did touch on a very good point about food quality and why food quality is so important. I mean, the restaurants are in the business of selling food. They're not in the business of selling oil. The consumers and the customers, when they pick some menu items, you know, they expect the best quality is going to be presented to them. And this is what we help the cruise liner or the chefs to achieve. Why? Because we reduce the amount of oil that is absorbed by the food product. Therefore, the client, the customer, has a better culinary experience because they're tasting more of the food that they're buying and less of the oil it's cooked in. Less oil on the product means less calories. Less calories means a healthier product. So it gets rid of that age-old thing of deep fried food is bad for you. You got OiLChef in your fryer, now you got great food. Double win-win.
Fantastic, I love that. So tell me then, in terms of the number of oil changes that would take place on a standard fryer, how does this impact that? Do you now have to change it more often because you're effectively keeping the good stuff in, or how does that work with oil changes?
It's great. Let's take an example. If a fryer on a cruise ship, for example, would typically have to replace or change their oil, let's say, every 3 days. If they have OiLChef in their fryer, typically they would be able to extend the distance between those oil changes to probably 6 or 7 days. So half as much or half as frequent oil changes. Less oil changes means more money for the operator, reduction in cost of their food.
Yeah, and tell me, because we're actually, with this product, it looks like we're putting something into the fryer. This is going inside, submerged in the oil, is that correct?
Yes, this device is basically, it sits inside the bottom of the deep fryer. Typically on the cruise vessels, they have electric fryers, so it's underneath the electric elements. So it doesn't actually impede with the operation. It doesn't impede with the actual baskets. Now, the only reason we have been approved by the FDA, the USPH, and the VSP is because our technology doesn't add anything to the oil. It doesn't take out anything from the oil. It's an inorganic product. So it works on a molecular level in the oil. And, you know, that's the beauty about this. It's not a filtering system. You know, it's so sophisticated and yet so easy to use. And, you know, we don't use any software technologies or apps or make things complicated. We keep it so simple. It's a plug and play. We only have to replace it every 3 years. I mean, you're not going to break it. It's pretty much virtually unbreakable. It's virtually maintenance free. It doesn't get any simpler than this.
And my question is, I have two questions with that. So weight-wise, what does something like that weigh? Obviously, you know, we're on this Zoom call, so I can't feel it. What does it weigh?
To put this into perspective, this is around 1 pound in weight.
1 pound, and think about the weight to store additional oil, because obviously if you've got this, you need less oil. Therefore, you've opened up storage space in the pantry. You've opened up space, you know, floor space. This is not only saving on costs from oil changes, but also you now don't have to store as much oil. Is that correct? You're
absolutely right, and that's a huge point, especially when space is a premium on a cruise ship. Let's say a cruise ship might have to, we'll just use a round number here. I don't actually know each particular vessel, but let's say a cruise ship might have to have 1,000 drums of oil. If they have my device in their fryers, now they'll only need around 500 drums of that oil. That's a lot less storage space coming on board the vessel. But there's the other flip side to this. If they're changing their oil half as frequently, and the used and discarded oil, they have less oil to actually store after the process, the waste oil, to hold onto the ship. So from a safety point of view and an eco-friendly point of view, this is a huge advantage. Huge advantage.
Yeah. And by putting something into the fryer, are we taking longer to heat, or is it taking the same amount of time to heat the oil? What, from an energy consumption point of view, what does this change?
Oh, that's a great question. I mean, our technology working on a molecular level slows down the polymerization or the lumping of oil molecules. And what that does, it keeps the oil in a thinner and finer form. So it, in turn, lets the operators to actually reduce their frying temperature, saving energy, and it allows them to actually cook their food quicker at a lower temperature, make a crispier product that's even tastier. So when it comes to energy consumption, hey, we're win-win here because we're reducing their carbon footprint, but also we're able to turn around their food a lot quicker. So food service actually comes out quicker again. So these are the other benefits that come as part of the package with the OiLChef product.
Fantastic. So we've got sustainability, we've got a tastier end product, reduction in weight, which weight is probably one of the biggest challenges that the cruise line industry face. I mean, I'm struggling to find a reason why they wouldn't have this on their ship. What are some of the common objectives you get that you're able to overcome, the misconceptions, if you will?
Well, people think it's a filter, number one. I have to speak to them about that. Other people, it's too good to be true. I get that quite often. Once they put it in their fryer, within 15 minutes, that's the end of that conversation. The proof of the pudding's in the eating of the pie, pardon the pun.
Yeah.
There really is no other objection. The biggest objection I've had for a number of years was, on a cruise ship or any vessel, was you needed to have the VSP, you needed to have the USPH. So they were difficult and challenging hurdles, and we had to make modifications specifically for this industry. We've overcome that now, so the gloves are off. We're open for business, and we can't wait to get on all the cruise vessels.
Good. Okay. Well, look, there's the last thing I want to ask. Then you've got an audience, a captive audience here of executive chefs, galley professionals, design agencies that are involved in this area within the cruise industry. What is the message?
You've got to have OiLChef. If you've got a deep fryer in your galley, you've got to have OiLChef, because at the end of the day, everything is all competitive. You've got to reduce your cost of food. You want to reduce your carbon footprint. You want your customers to be happy and keep coming back. And most importantly, if we can help you increase your profits, this is a no-brainer. Let's think about this from a business case. Without all the other great things that we've got, from a business case, you will get your return on your investment in less than probably 6 months, if I know your industry. And we give you a 3-year warranty. So work out the math. Go to a bank manager and say, I'm going to give you $1. I'm coming back in 3 years. I want you to give me $5. I don't think the manager is going to do that. With OiLChef, you're going to get that and more.
That's fantastic. And are they ready? Are they ready to ship? That's the other thing, because obviously you're going to be at the show in October, the Cruise Ship Hospitality Expo. You are ready to supply the cruise industry. You have the approvals, you have the products. As you said,
we're ready to go. We're in the process now of taking orders.
Fantastic. Sean, thank you so much for your time today. And thank you for your watching. If you'd like more information on OiLChef, reach out to us and we'll put you in touch with their team. Thank you very much, Sean.
Great. See you in October. Looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye-bye.